If you are trying to decide if you should change something in your career or keep moving, or you want to know if you should keep pursuing something, this video is for you. I'm Dom Jackson with Cultivating Media, and this is the 7-Day Scoop Show, my weekly show where I document my career and decisions that I'm making. If you have ventures trying to pursue, I use my stories, my ventures to motivate and teach you. All right, guys, look, we're here. You know, if you checked the last couple videos, I was in the process of going to get my van with car keys, and if you read the title of the video, you assume that that's not the case anymore. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna explain my experience there, what I've learned from it, what maybe made the pivot, and then what I'm gonna do next. So just for like the TLDR, as the kids say, for what's going on next, or what happened previously. I was working with a direct marketing company that was working with Car Keys Express, and the process was like you work from like a beginner salesperson to getting your operating your own van, and then from there you can get your own fleet of vans. And I kind of understood what the model was basically before. I just thought that I would be faster in getting the position done than I would have. So I started the process of like the car keys in particular in June of 2024. And then I ended it in January of 2026. So it's February now, but I ended it then. And I think the biggest thing that I went through as far as the model, I mean, it's one of those things you're kind of working like minimum, getting paid minimum wage or a little bit over minimum wage, depending on which state you're in. And then, you know, once you get the van title and operator, you get a percentage of what the whole van and team makes. So you go from like learning how to just sell to learning how to actually service and work in the cars into learning how to operate and lead a team. Then you can get one van or multiple vans. You can kind of be your own regional manager of like multiple van fleets. You just gotta get the skill set to get it done. And you just gotta keep going through it enough times to get it done. But anyway, with the whole process, learned a lot more about sales, people skills. I think that was a big one, just how different regions work, different accents sound, how to handle and cadence myself with different areas. One of the other things, just like the power of doing more reps, what volume actually entails, how you actually learn just doing things more often. I think that was pretty big. Quick background change, phone's overheating in the sun, perks of recording outside. But in that intermediate position, I was working like 66 to 70 hours a week, but then still getting paid the same amount. So it was like, bro, like, this ain't it. You can do more with your time. And that kind of brought me to the next decision. So I'm big on like never giving up and like, you know, always going through your process. But the issue was that actually seeing the numbers for how it looked for my current situation. Like I was saying before, like if I would have got the van in 3 months and then 6 months got my second van with someone else running it, even if it took me 6 months and 6 months so the year, and the year I had 2 vans, that game with that system with where I was at 18 months with still no van just didn't make sense anymore. Like not going too much into the money aspect of it, but like even getting the van, because like I already has proof that I was not gonna be like an exceptional van operator on my own. So like if you were like okay, you were only making like maybe 35K working all those hours. Like if you were just an okay van operator, you're making 35K a year working 70 hours a week with your business. And I was like, that can't be me. Now, let's say you were like on the high end, you were exceptional, you could be over that 100K mark, 100K plus, and then work on getting the next person in your group, your next van, and like have them performing well as well. But I'm like, it took me 18 months to get van number 1. I ran the van for 6 weeks. I didn't do exceptional in that time period with the batch that I had. It just was like, yeah, this system as a whole, like if my goal was to make, if I want to make $100,000 in this system in the next, let's say the next 2 years, it was highly unlikely. Because one, even if I had the van, I didn't show the skill set to run that van that well. And the amount of people that I knew that were running the van at that cadence of hitting that 2,000 points a week, the people that were doing it, but they were like the outliers. The real way to determine a system, at least for what I was looking for this next stage, is like, what are the people in the middle doing? And not that you want to be average, but if like I could have walked into, if I can walk into like a baseline 50K job, I would have been making more than I would have been as like a B- van operator. Like, only the A pluses were really doing like exceptional numbers. And but then like, hey, you can get multiple vans. But then like even then, having multiple like okay vans, like the effort and the time to get to that next phase after it already took me 18 months to get to the position to get to one. So that means if it would have took me another 6 months to go through it, it definitely wouldn't work. Like where I left now, I think it was a good spot. So I guess the framing of it, that I would say, if you want to decide what you're doing, you know, what the next set of your minimum standard is, and what in the system that you're in, what's the norm versus what's the outliers, and then picking like what the time would take to get to that next stage. Because like I don't give a fuck about cars, and I wanted it for the skills and the money when I got into it. But if I would have said like, hey, it's gonna take you 18 months to get here, like I wouldn't even have went into it. You know what I'm saying? So good lessons there though. Next steps, I'm gonna be documenting the process of me getting my first rental property. So for right now, I mean, real estate is just like a very solid asset to have, and I don't have anything currently, so I think it's a good process to be like going through the steps and showing what I have to do, especially being in a transition right now. And I want to document my career anyway, so this is something I want to do. I have a lot of good friends that are already have a couple of doors already, so I'm like have people in my ear that can kind of guide me with it, but I'm looking more towards getting like a SDR kind of role, and then working into getting into like a deal flow position. So, you know, the SDR things are basically just like outbound cold calling, cold DMing, cold messaging. But if you're in the right system, you can become account executive and then work from there to actually close and broker the deals. So looking at industries that can get me in that particular field, that's where I am currently. Like I'm going through like 25 applications a week job wise, doing cold DMs on LinkedIn, and like I have my whole little spreadsheet set up. But that's where I am right now. That's where my headspace is. But I'll be documenting the process of like where I am currently, and then how I'm gonna get to my first rental as far as like payment wise, you know, mindset wise where I am, and then from there all the several steps taken from there. Here's like the video of the inception with me and Marcus just talking about the idea. February 3rd, we just got the idea for the next part of the series, Road to the First Rental. Got the one and only MP over here with me today.
Hey, you know what it is.
Hey.
I'm just here for moral support.
Hey, you know, real estate poppy out here.
Literally now, literally a dad. Yeah, tell him about it. Tell him about the Road to the First Rental, Big Dom.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, it's the Road to the First Rental. Just document the process, same as before. From the right now, February 3rd. Happy birthday, Manny. Shout out to the little bro.
Hey, shouts out to Manny.
Yeah, but you know, inception of the idea today. You know, just gonna film the end of the saga for that other saga earlier, but now we got the new series, what to go for, we're looking forward to, and it's just, you know, my journey to getting my first rental property. You know, from jobs, from interns, from scrubbing toilets, you know, to owning them, to have people scrubbing mine.
Oh, you might be scrubbing them to start with, but you know. Hey, you know, I think the big thing on the rental journey is time. So time is like the number one factor. In the sense of it starts slow, and I feel like I'm in the middle of the journey right now. It's a 10 to 15 year thing. A lot of times it sounds a lot better on the internet than what it is actually for people. But I think the most helpful phase is like, how do you get to one? And then once you get to one, you can get to two and get to three. So Dom's gonna take it kind of one step at a time, and also just document the beautiful process of how do you get that first rental. It's a lot of unsexy things, such as getting your credit right, saving money, becoming bankable, and going through that whole process, learning how to find a deal, what to look for in a deal, what works best for you, learning your market. So all those general questions and how to get started. A lot of it is also mindset and ability to be okay with the unknown and kind of just take that next step, take that next step, take that next step. So yeah, I think those are the most important things. And then once you do one, it's just as simple as like, just putting all those steps together and just doing it again. And it just gets quicker and quicker and quicker. So
taking it day by day. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's slow. In my opinion, it's a slow grind. I think people should be expectation-wise to go from no rentals to having a rental. That should probably be if everything is already set up, maybe it's a 6-month process, but for most people, that's going to be a 1 to 3 year process. And then to go to, let's say your next goal is to be able to cover your bills with a rental. Maybe that's a 5 to 7 year process. And then to the point where you can travel wherever you want, be wherever you want, and have complete time freedom and never worry about money. The internet's going to say that takes 2 years. In reality, that's probably going to take you about 10 if you already are earning really good income, because that's the number one thing. But it could take anywhere from 10 to 20 years. And it's not about earning income. It's actually about how much you save, what your savings rate is, and how much you're saving every single month. So that's what Dom's going to take you through. And, I'm just hanging out with my dog, So
the whole process, guys. So this is like the inception moment, definitely tune in. We got a lot of great things coming. Definitely subscribe to Marcus's channel too.
Hey, I don't got a channel. I'm just kidding. I do, but
he don't post nothing.
I don't post.
But he's not gonna sell you anything or grift you at all. So
I'm gonna get your money. But I got a course coming. Subscribe to the course, and I got classes and Patreons and Discords. Come and get them.
But a lot of great things coming, guys. Take it one step at a time. Okay, day by day. But yeah, man, as always, so, summary point, if you made it this far, if you're going to make a pivot, I would definitely just assess and see why you want to make the pivot. Like, is it a money thing? Is it a skill set thing? Is it a time thing? Mine was a combination of all three, having 18 months worth of data and then being in the same spot. And looking at where I would be going forward money-wise, even if I got to the next level, I was like, nah, it's not worth it. If I can walk in somewhere else with the same amount of time, 70 plus hours a week of just like doing apps, and then go to somewhere else and make just as much as it would have made in like van year, maybe number 2, it wasn't worth it, even for the other opportunities of scalability, because, with this path, if I save up for 2 years with entry-level job and then work on, we'll see what the next set of steps look like, but there's more opportunities for what I can do to get more money, and that one wasn't it. But as always, take it one step at a time to get there, day by day.